Hey everybody, this is Mr. P with your e-learning lesson for Math 10 for Tuesday, May 12th. And we're going to start looking into finding the volumes of three-dimensional figures. So we've done a lot finding area of two-dimensional figures, right, that are in square units. Now we're going to find volume of three-dimensional figures. So basically the amount of space that's inside a three-dimensional figure. We're going to start out with cones, and we'll do several other figures like pyramids and cylinders and spheres and so forth. So just for reference, a cone looks like this. Okay, it has what we call a circular base, right? The base is a circle, and we can orient it up and down like this, or it can be upside down, or it can be sideways. And the two key dimensions of a cone are the radius of the circular base, okay, and then also the height of the cone. So basically the distance between the peak of the cone and the base, okay, the inside height. So how tall is the cone? And we can use those measurements to find the volume, so the amount of space inside the cone. And so our formula is either 1/3 pi r squared times the height, or another way to think about that is pi times radius squared times the height, and then divide by 3. So those are equivalent formulas. Whichever one you feel more comfortable with is the one you can use. And we're going to use 3.14 for pi, just like we did for our circle calculations. Remember, r is the radius of the base, and h is the height. Remember, if we're given the diameter, then we have to take that diameter and divide by 2, right? Because the radius is half the diameter. All right, and our units, okay, for any time we do volume, are going to be cubed units. So they're going to have a little 3 here instead of a 2. So inches cubed, feet cubed, so on and so forth. All right, so you want to make sure you enter the correct units. Now notice here I say do not round your answer, because for your assignment, which is going to be on Alex, okay, for May 12th, the directions say do not round your answer. So whatever you get in your calculator, that's what you're going to put in as your answer. All right, so let's take a look here at some examples. So the first one, let's identify what we got. We have 3 here. So what dimension is 3? Since it's halfway across the circle, that's the radius. So that's r, 7. Okay, that's the distance between the top and the base, so that's the height. So the version I'm going to use is pi r squared times height. So pi times radius squared times height over 3, okay? Remember, we can say 1/3 pi r squared times height, or we can do pi times radius squared times height, then divide by 3. So let's make sure we're following our order of operations here. So we're going to do 3.14 times 3 squared times a height of 7 all over 3. Remember, we need to do the exponent first, so 3 squared, we got to do that first. So 3.14 times 9, which is what 3 squared is, times 7 all over 3. Now I just multiply everything across the top, 3.14 times 9 times 7. And what I would get there is 197.82, and then I'm going to divide that number by 3, and you're going to get 65.94, and we're going to say meters cubed. Okay, so that's the amount of three-dimensional space inside that cone. Next one, okay, the cone's upside down, no problem. Okay, this 5 here is still going to be the radius, because this is still the base, even though it's upside down. 12 is our height, so label that. Here's h, here's r. So we're going to go ahead, again, go back to the formula, pi r squared times height over 3. So 3.14 times 5 squared times 12 over 3. Okay, so 3.14 times 5 squared, so that's 25. Remember, we have to do that exponent first, times 12 over 3. Now I would go ahead and you need to multiply the top, everything, 3.14 times 25 times 12. Do that first before you divide. Alright, so you'll end up with 942 on the top, divide by 3, so you will get 314 even. Okay, and that's going to be inches cubed. Inches cubed. Alright. So I'll move it up, and we'll do a couple more examples. So for these, notice the dimension that I am given is not the radius, but the diameter, right? Because this is the entire distance across the circle through the center. So that 10 is the diameter. That's actually the diameter. 11, that's our height. So remember, we have to find our radius because our formula involves radius. So I need to take the diameter. So start by finding the radius. Take the diameter, divide by 2. 10 divided by 2, what's that? Okay, that's 5. So radius is 5. Right, because really, this little part's 5, this little part's 5, right? It's divided in half there. So we're going to go back to our formula. Volume equals pi times radius squared times height divided by 3. So volume is going to be 3.14 times 5 squared times the height, which is 11, all over 3. Remember, first thing I need to do is simplify the exponent. So 5 squared is 25. So 3.14 times 25 times 11 over 3. Then I need to multiply. Okay, so multiply everything on top first. So what you're going to get there is 863.5. And then you divide that by 3. Okay, so for this one, you're going to get like 287.33333. Okay, so 0.3 repeating. Now on your assignment, you shouldn't get like a repeating decimal. But we did here, so just keep in mind that 3 goes on forever. So we're going to put as many places as we can here. So that's going to be centimeters cubed. Okay, so last one, again, we're given diameter, right? This is the diameter, which means the radius, we have to take 4 with the diameter and divide it by 2. So the radius is actually equal to 2. Right, because this is 2 and this is 2. Okay, so remember, we have to divide the diameter by 2 if that's what we're given. 10 is still the height. Okay, so I'll go back to my formula. Volume equals pi times radius squared times height over 3. Plug everything in. 3.14 times 2 squared, because we said radius is 2, times the height, which is 10. All over 3. So what I get here, 3.14, 2 squared is 4, so times 4 times 10. Okay, and then on top, when I multiply all 3 numbers, 3.14 times 4 times 10, I get 125.6, and then I'm dividing that by 3. And when I do that, I end up with 41.866666667, okay, kilometers cubed. Okay, so that's, again, I put all the digits the calculator gave there. So didn't want us, not going to want you to round with these. All right, so again, volume pi r squared times height over 3. Or remember, the alternative of that is you take 1/3 times pi r squared times height. So whichever formula you're comfortable with, make sure your units are cubed units because you're finding 3-dimensional space. Okay, so again, the assignment is on Alex, okay, for May 12th for volume of cones. And then tomorrow, for May 13th, we'll look at volumes of cylinders, and then volumes of spheres on Thursday. So until then, see you later.